It's Friday and it's time for maths. Our work today is to calculate percentage increases and decreases. So the words that we're going to come across today are increase and decrease. Now increase means to get greater in size or amount, so it becomes or it gets bigger and larger. Decrease means it becomes smaller in size or amount, so it could be getting reduced, something like that. We looked at this a little bit yesterday actually. So this first question, a tree was 60 centimetres tall. It is now 10% taller. Label the bar model to show this. Now lots of you might just be able to work out the answer straight away, but the part of your My Maths homework today is to actually label the bar model. So let's have a look at that together now. So the bar model here, all of this represents 100% of that tree. We've already got it there. 100% of the tree, and we know that the tree is 60 centimetres tall, so 100% of the tree is 60 centimetres. 60 centimetres. Now if we look at the sections here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got 10 sections here. So if altogether it's 60 and there's 10 sections, that must mean that each section is worth 6 centimetres. So we might just put 6 in like this so we know. So each one of these sections is 10% because there's 10 there. So I'm putting 6 in, so each 10% represents 6 centimetres. It is now 10% taller, so I'm going to draw an extra box on there because that's the extra 10%, and I'm going to label that as the extra 10%. And I know the value of that is 6 because we've said that each 10% is 6. You might write it there as well at the top. The extra little bit there is 6 centimetres. So I've labelled the bar model. How tall is a tree now? Well, it was 60 centimetres to begin with. It's had another 10% on, so it will be 66 centimetres. Now, some of you might be able to do that without the bar model because you might just calculate 10%. We know to find 10%, we divide by 10. So 10% equals 6. And then we just add it on and we get 66. So whichever way you do it, you will get the same answer of 66 centimetres. The next one. A flagpole was 100 centimetres tall. The height of it has been increased, okay, so it's got bigger, by 25%. Label the bar model. So again, some of you might be able to do this without the bar model, but the My Maths task today is focusing on the bar model. So let's have a look. So all together, we know this is 100%. So this is the size of the flagpole, the height of the flagpole. We also know, looking at the question, it's 100 centimetres tall. Okay, the height of it has been increased by 25 centimetres. Now thinking back to Monday and Tuesday's lesson, I know 25% is a quarter. So that means this bar model needs splitting into quarters, and to find a quarter we can half it, which I've done there, and then half it again, so half each half. So I've got 4 sections there. So we need to work out the value of each section. Well, if altogether it's 100 and want to work out a quarter, we half it, which is 50, and half it again, which is 25. So each of these sections is 25. It just so happens that each of these sections is worth 25%, is also actually in this question worth 25 centimetres. Okay, label that there. The height of it has increased by 25%. So I need to increase this now by 25%. I'm going to draw 2 boxes because 2 boxes represent 25%. So 2 boxes there. And then that coincidentally is 25%. But also it actually works out to be 25 centimetres as well. You might write that at the top there. How tall is the flagpole now? Well, it's 100 centimetres. Added on to 20, added another 25% on, which is just 25 centimetres. So it's now 125 centimetres tall. Now again, some of you might have just thought, well, I know 25% of 100 is 25 centimetres, so I'm just going to add it on. And you'd get the same answer, 125 centimetres. But like I said, today we're focusing on the bar model as well. This next question, a haircut usually costs £20. The price of the haircut has been reduced by 30%. Now, let's think back to the start, what we said. Reduced means it's being decreased, so it's going down. So the price has gone down. So the price of the haircut has been reduced by 30%. Label the bar model. So again, this is the price of the haircut to begin with, 100% of the price before anything's been reduced. We know the price of it is £20. £20, and it's been reduced by 30%. So let's have a look. Let's split this into sections. So 30%, so I'm going to work in 10%. So 1 section, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 sections there. So each of those are 10%. So I need to divide £20 by 10, which is 2. So each one of those is worth £2. Like that. 2, 2. So I've labelled the bar model and it's been reduced by 30%. Now on the last questions we added some extra bars on there, but we're not going to do that in this question because we add the extra bars on when we're increasing the price. Now the price is being reduced, so we need to take off 30%. So each one of these sections is worth 10%, so I'm going to take off 10%, 20%, 30%. So take off 30% off the price. How much is the haircut now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, £14. £14. Now again, some of you might have been able to work that out without the bar model. So some of you might have done, right, well I know 10% of £20 is 2. So 30%, I've times that by 3 to get that. So that would be 6. And then you might have done then £20 take with £6 is £14. So whichever way you do it, you will get the same answer. But like I said, today we're focusing on using a bar model because it does help as well. Okay, so that's it for today. That's your final lesson this week on fractions, decimals and percentages. So your task, work through the My Maths lesson. Now I would suggest doing that because it does follow the structure that we do at school of I do, you do. So they will show you a little bit and then you have a go and you can mark it as you're going along so you can see if you're getting it right or wrong. Then have a go at completing the My Maths tasks. And again, pencil and paper for jottings today. You might draw your little bar models. And then number 3, keep trying to get 100% or as high as you can. Okay, good luck everyone and have a lovely weekend and we'll see you next week.